All right, thank you so much, John. 5:35. It is time again this morning to check in with our interactive managing editor, Elizabeth Reed, to find out what's trending. And earlier in the show, we talked about how women are using social media more than men, but social media is also being used from other people as well, right?
Exactly. Actually, this story just broke last week. Actually, China wrote about it with Ford offering more jobs and renewing contracts with the union, the United Auto Workers. And they basically have been, a lot of the union workers in the past, when they've done deals, it's been a lot of behind the closed doors, not a lot of people knowing what's going on. And a lot of the union workers are complaining that they weren't reading the fine print or weren't getting the fine print at all until after the deal had already passed. But now they're championing the use of Twitter and Facebook because they've been using that between the different negotiations that they've been having the past week with Ford and Chrysler. And a lot of the union workers are really happy because it's such a transparent process now. So, I mean, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, where you mentioned not a lot of information had been available up until now, but social media is being used for more than just connecting with your friends and updating your status and letting everybody know what you're doing every 5 seconds. Really, a lot of useful information is out there, and especially when you're not getting the big picture from some of the higher up guys in office, and you can sort of do your own research and dig deep and find out some of those fine details that way. That's really cool.
Exactly. And you know, a lot of the workers are saying it's unprecedented because before, exactly, it was behind closed doors. People would have to like line up in the hallway to hear, you know, there'd be phone calls made, and actually their website crashed whenever the deals were first coming out because people wanted to know and be the first to know what the fine print was. So that's when they started using Twitter to kind of communicate. And even in Kansas City, there were union workers tweeting questions up to those in Detroit to say, hey, can you answer or clarify X, Y, Z? And it really helped, you know, the process, and it gave the union leaders who were helping with these negotiations kind of questions they didn't think about from their other people throughout the nation. So it's really cool. And they even did a YouTube video to kind of explain what the process was and what that meant for them. And it's just amazing, really.
Yeah, and I do remember the website crashing, too, when I was actually trying to write the story and get all the updates. And it's interesting that you say that because there are still other websites that you can go to get that same information now, where before it was just, you know, UAW.org or Ford.com, things like that. But now you can sort of navigate around that and check Facebook and Twitter that way. So,
yeah,
nice.
It's really amazing how much more transparent not only companies can be, but politicians and, you know, anybody can be about their policies and what they're trying to do. And, you know, this year has been the year of Facebook and Twitter, and we've talked about how next year's election, you know, politicians are really going to push their campaign managers to be on Twitter, perusing and seeing who are the advocates and who are the people kind of against them. And so, you know, I think that this only shows that social media is here to stay and that it's helping people. You know, it's not taking away as much time as we, you know, previously thought it was just a time waster, but now we can see how it can effectively help companies and people get to the desired ends.
Yeah, we're using it a lot different from just finding out whose status is what and looking at everyone's pictures that way. So it is becoming a tool of very useful information. And of course, we have 3 story ideas for you to pick from on our Facebook page. And Angie Gonzalez will bring you the winner